Just to kick off, your first experiences of this cup would have been in your playing days. What's your memories of playing in the cup?
Oh, my worst memory is the Scottish Cup final in '69. I was 4-0 at Celtic. That was the end of my career, Rangers. It should have been the end of all our careers, to be honest with you. But I had some good memories in the Scottish Cup as a player. I think I got to 2 or 3 semi-finals. Particularly with Dunfermline, had a good spell there. We beat Hibs in the semi-final, and with another semi-final, lost to Celtic in the semi-final, lost to Rangers in the semi-final, I think. But unfortunately, not winning it is always a sort of a regret you have in terms of as a player. Everyone would want to win the Scottish Cup, you know.
Did you carry that with you into your managerial career? Was the cup important to you from the start?
I think. No, there's no regrets about that because I think I always felt my career was a good career in the sense of I had a good spell with Dunfermline. I joined the club. I always wanted to join Rangers, and I finished a good note with Falkirk and United. My early years at Queen's Park were terrific. I love Queen's Park. A great football club, great people run it. And then I was an engineer and being part-time at St Johnstone. I always found it very difficult. It wasn't until I went full-time with Dunfermline that my career really took off. But no, I had no regrets at all. Obviously, you always take something from your management, your playing career into management as a foundation about where you want to be as a manager in terms of ambition and the drive and energy. Always had that in it as a player.
When you came to Aberdeen, cup success was something they'd been relatively starved of up until your kind of period in charge. Was it important to the club? Do you remember it being a big deal to the club?
It was fantastic. We got to a couple of semi-finals. We lost to Hibs in Hampden Park in one of the semi-finals, and it was only, I think it was 7,000. The question was why playing at Hampden Park on a Wednesday night in the middle of winter, or around about February, I think it was, and. That was a sort of a disappointment when I first went to Aberdeen. But winning it for the first time in '82 was fantastic. And we beat Rangers and went to extra time. But I think we deserved to win the cup. Aberdeen were an emerging team. They were starting to progress. The players were maturing great. And we had a fantastic spell. We had a spell of success after that, winning the 4 FA Cups.
What do you remember personally of that first cup final that you managed and that you won? What do you remember of the day, the build-up? How did you approach that game?
Well, what we used to do, although we get stopped the way around, we used to go down training at Hampden Park in the morning. We used to take 2 or 3 players down, the ones that like to train in the morning, and particularly the goalkeeper, Jim Layton. And it was a beautiful day. In fact, all the cup finals I played in Hampden were all lovely days. You can see it's unusual in Glasgow. But no, the build-up would always be, there's always a nervousness when you're driving to the stadium. You've said your piece to the players, did your team talk, and you let them go on at that point. But you're the only part is for the manager, because once you get to around about 2 o'clock, and the players are going out for their warm-up, and your physios are doing some strapping, or your assistants doing the warm-ups and things like that. You're on your own a bit, so you can't wait for the kick-off to come quick enough. And then that's the sort of a build-up. But on the day it was Rangers scored first, McDonald scored, and Alan McQueen scored right in half-time from a shot just outside the box. Went to extra time and we managed to win 4-1. We had a great night at the Glen Eagles. It was absolutely brilliant.
So you only made it halfway up the road then?
Yeah, it was. And the cup finals we always either went to Glen Eagles or to Anstruther to the Crow's Nest. We used to went there a few times. But it was great excitement.
The next year you're quite famous for being quite critical, I suppose, of your team in the cup final. What do you remember of that, looking back
nightmare. On it? Absolute nightmare. I think what happened was we'd beaten Real Madrid in the final of the Cup Winners' Cup. And the next game was Rangers in the cup final. To be honest with you, I thought we'd win by 10. I had that unbelievable confidence in the team that's just beaten Real Madrid to get to a final. It doesn't matter who we're going to play. And what I didn't realise was the tiredness that got to the players, and I should have known that. I should have spotted that, but I didn't. And I went out to the end of the game, and it was really unfortunate, to be honest with you. It was unjust, it was unfair. And then I set him a time up, but I made my point to time up. The next morning I called him into a meeting room at Gwyn Eagles and apologised. It's the only thing I could do.
But it must have shown your passion for the cup, your desire for that team to do that well.
Well, my expectation had risen, you see. They've been absolutely fantastic. Their run of success at that point was tremendous. They were the strongest team in Scotland. We've won a European Cup Winners' Cup. I've been Real Madrid, the greatest European winning team of all time. So my expectation had risen to great heights, and that's why there was a disappointment in winning the cup in the manner we did.
Do you remember any specific players who really coped well with the pressure of cup games, the intensity of cup games? Was there certain players who really thrived in that environment?
Well, the backbone was always strong at Aberdeen. The back four, Kennedy was a fantastic fullback, McQuish and Miller were legendary, and Big Duke Rugby, who was a centre half, converted him into a left back, and actually excelled in there. It was amazing how you could put a right-footed centre back to left back with his height, 6'3", and did really well. So there was a great foundation there, and it was a good sprinkling of young players with Neil Cooper, Neil Simpson, John Yu, Eric Black. They were tremendous young players to bring into the club, and of course the two talented players in Gordon Strachan and Peter Weir could decide matches. So it was a really good team, and Mark McGee up front, who was a great workhorse.
It's almost, I think it is 27 years to the day since you left Aberdeen. They seem to be kind of starting this season well and looking quite sprightly. Do you have high hopes for them of coming back?
Well, I watched them last night on television. I thought they were terrific. I think they've got 2 or 3 good players too. And I think Darren McKinnon, who I thought he did a really good job in England. It was just unfortunate the time I had at Bristol City. I don't think he got enough time. But he's doing well, and I'm really pleased with that, because it still holds a great affection for me to see Aberdeen doing well.